Hello everybody, I'm Takesh and welcome to my kitchen. Follow me. A lot of you have been asking about this kitchen and I wanted to make sure and show you all the wonderful details and share with you some of my greatest secrets. One of the important considerations in your kitchen is, do you want to have a television or not? Depends on how your family lives. In our family, we like to have it on Sundays for football, or maybe sometimes when we're doing cooking shows and trying to emulate some of the best cooks in the world. Now, when we decided to do this kitchen, the question was, how are we going to incorporate a television and so that it doesn't look too television-y, if that makes any sense. Now, luckily, I had chosen a black lacquer cabinet color, which really helped in camouflaging this television. So if you can see here, I've got my Samsung TV and I sort of had it designed flush against the cabinet. We created a box, right? And what's great about this is that you can sort of twist it no matter where you are. So if you're in the kitchen cooking by the stove, you can look at the television. If you're in the family room behind the television, you can certainly turn it around and watch from there, even though we have a television in the family room, but you never know when two people want to watch different programs. All we did was put a swivel arm behind the television, really not a very difficult strategy, and then camouflaged it with all of its cables behind the television screen. We have our, DirecTV box here. And we literally just pull it in and pull it out and swivel it any which way we want. When we're done with the TV, we put it back in and we pretend like there's no TV in this kitchen, is there? Another consideration in any kitchen is how you're going to wash your dishes. Obviously, everyone wants and needs and loves a dishwasher. But the question is, do you need one or can you potentially fit two? In this particular kitchen, I definitely needed to have two dishwashers. Why? Because I don't like to see dishes in the sink ever. So in order to avoid having to empty the dishwasher and put it back in and working really hard all the time, I can have the ability to hide the dirty dishes, obviously, while they're being filled in one. And then if I already have a clean one and I don't feel like emptying it right away, I have a little bit more time. Here's the second dishwasher. Again, it's right next to the sink for easy loading and unloading. You open it up, you've got all of your dials inside, so it's not a cluttered look. You close it, again, minimal, clean, and you can always have a fresh, lovely kitchen in case anybody pops over. One of the biggest questions I get in design is to marble or not to marble a kitchen. And I can tell you that the answers are going to vary, but the important thing is, what is it that you like best and how, again, are you going to be living in your kitchen? Are you someone that's going to protect the counters when you're cutting up lemon, or are you just all over the place and ready to cook and make a mess? So in this particular case, I had to have marble. For me, marble is one of the most beautiful materials in the world, and I wanted to showcase it in the kitchen. And I knew that I was going to be careful. I knew that I was going to have cutting tools that I was going to place on top of the marble to be careful with it. And I honestly think that it makes a really beautiful statement. Now, with that said, in the last couple of years, there really has been a very big shift in man-made materials. And these materials come in slab formats, which they didn't used to, and they really, really look almost real. So you could have both, really. Here's a trick that I have found. If you don't want to get your marble too messed up and you're going to be having a busy day in the kitchen, or maybe you're preparing for a dinner party, just bring out your drawer liner. Now, this is my little secret. I put this out onto the counter where I know there's going to be a lot of activity. It's white. It sort of camouflages into the island, and I can bring a bunch of groceries up here. I can have, I can cut all my vegetables. I can unload and reload the refrigerator, clean the refrigerator. This way, my marble is protected and it actually doesn't look so bad. One big consideration in any kitchen is how you're going to do your ventilation. So as you know, you're required to have a vent in every kitchen. And in this particular kitchen, I wanted to make sure and do something that wasn't so ubiquitous. What did I want? I wanted something that nobody had done before. I considered, maybe putting one of those fancy hoods, but it looked too industrial for this kitchen. I considered perhaps building a cabinet, but it looked too stifling. And so it occurred to me that if I want something airy and nice, why don't I just go ahead and mirror it? So I didn't want to put on a traditional mirror. I was too afraid that it would be very heavy and might fall, break, become some kind of hazard. So what I decided to do was find some type of reflective surface that was mirror-like without it being a mirror. And luckily, I found out that aircrafts actually don't use real mirrors for obvious reasons due to weight constrictions, and use what is called plexilight. So this, in fact, is a mirror. It's a reflective surface that mimics a mirror, and it's extremely light. One of my favorite things in this kitchen actually are these pendant lights. The reason I love them is that I actually hand drew them and had them made specifically for this kitchen. I didn't like a lot of the chandeliers that have the strings that are hanging down. I wanted it to be clean. I wanted it to be a brass tube. And I had actually found ones that were very similar to this, but were extremely expensive, cost prohibitive. So I decided that I could have them made for a fraction of the cost. What's also wonderful about these chandeliers is that you do not have to clean them. Hello. The ones that I did see had glass everywhere and they were gorgeous, but it does take a little bit of time to make sure that the dust is always off of them. But in this case, no glass, no dust. I have to admit that I do have a little bit of a china habit, and the disease has gotten progressively worse. If you happen to have a china habit such as the one I have, what's great is you want to display them. You want to display them not only for yourself, but for your guests to see what beautiful china you've collected over the years. So I built specifically this cabinet with glass mirrors so that it would feel light and then you could see through it, and have displayed all of my china from all of the different moments in my life. These I actually got from France, in the little town of Limoges that sells them. And I just love collecting them. I find little things at estate sales that are complementary to the china, and so I pair them together. And as you can see, I have different colors, different shades. I've got a burgundy moment here if I'm having, more of a festive party with matching soup bowls, or I have a wedding present china here, which I got they're actually Japanese plates that are really beautifully well made by Noritake, and I got these at my wedding. And I do like to, again, incorporate different things that I find over the years that would match. These are CB2 and they look great with my Japanese china. I realize there's a lot of china here, but do you think I should maybe get one more set of china? If so, comment below. Again, organizing your kitchen is really important. Want to have things at hand? Do built-ins. Built-ins are great. You can pull this out, grab whatever you need, your oatmeal, your rice, your flour, and you're ready to go. On another segment, we're going to talk more in depth about how to organize your cabinets, because that's of course another specialty of mine, because I love organization. But I did want to show you one last thing that I think is very interesting and actually very inexpensive to do. So if you like to bake, which I do, right next to your stove, you want to be able to mix your goods. So one of the greatest ways of doing that is to bring out your mixer without, again, breaking your back. So I have this wonderful ability to do that. Bam, right here in the kitchen. You have to think about these things in advance. These inserts are very easy to buy and install in any cabinetry. My absolute favorite item in this kitchen by far are these vintage bar stools. I found them at an estate sale, had to have them, wouldn't let go of them. And what's amazing is that these were actually manufactured in the 70s and they are solid brass. If you pull them out, you will notice they're extremely heavy, and they're extremely comfortable as well. The seat is lined in beautiful leather, and they have held up quite well over the years. So not only do they look good, but they are actually very comfortable. So this was it. This was my kitchen tour. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and learning and seeing how I've designed my kitchen. And in really designing any space, my takeaway or my advice to everybody is do what you love. Surround yourself with the elements or the things or the colors that you enjoy, and don't let any sort of idea dissuade you from that. In my particular case, I love black and white, so the kitchen really is an ode to black and white. So if you want to see other rooms in this house and other great design projects I'm working on right now, make sure and subscribe below. Again, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.